All right, next up, we have to get ready for pig butchering. So after we do our chickens, we are going to butcher one of the hogs. We're going to butcher the male, the big one. We call him Fatty. We're going to wait till January, but the amount of feed we have and the size that he is, we've decided just to kind of do it early. He'll be 8 months. November 3rd will be 8 months, so shortly after that. I think actually November 3rd is the date we're going to do it. So right at 8 months, we're going to butcher him. They could go out to a year, but we're going to keep the 2 females for now. We'll see what we're going to do with those, whether we process them or keep them for breeders. So in order to process them here on the farm, we need some way to hoist them up. We're going to scald them, keep the skin. We don't want to skin it, so I guess either way, if we skin it, we'd probably have to hoist them up. So I saw So the Land do a gantry for their pig. So we're going to do something similar to that. We're just going to have 2 posts on the side and then a beam across the top, and then we'll hook a winch to it so we can hoist the pig up to scald it and scrape it. So I'll leave a link to his video in the description, but I got these 16-foot 2x6s, so I'm going to glue them and screw them together, and those will be our 2 uprights, and then we'll build a base and go from there. So right now I got some glue I'm going to stick down on these boards, and then we'll screw them together. So I'll get started on that now. So I just put some liquid nails down, and now I'll try somehow to flip this 16-foot board without making a mess. Alright, so now it's kind of on there. I'm just going to work my way down. There is a little bit of warp in the board, so I'll just put a screw maybe every foot and then kind of bring the board back in so that it's nice and straight. Alright, so got one done. I didn't go all the way to the edges with the screws because I am going to take the miter saw and square up the edges so that way I got a flat surface. So I left the screws in about 1.5 inches from the edge. So I'll go ahead and put the liquid nails on to those boards, flip those over, get those screwed in. Now I'll flip them both over and put a couple more screws, and then come back and clean up the edges. There's just a little bit of spill out. It's not too bad though. those are all together. We'll let the liquid nails dry. It's later in the day anyway. I was working on other projects this morning, so we'll let this dry, and then tomorrow come out, we'll cut the ends, and then we'll start putting the uprights together. But so we'll work on it tomorrow. For you guys, it'll be right now. All right, well, it's the next morning. The liquid nails is dried, boards are good. I got them cut down already. They're 16 and a quarter, 16 feet and a quarter inch. Definitely way longer than they need to be, but my hopes is that in the future we can use them for processing cattle as well, or a cow, I guess, since probably not going to do multiples. So I got these other 16-foot boards. I'm going to cut them down in half, I think, and the base will be 8 feet wide on these. Still trying to figure it out. I may give it a thought and do 10 foot, so it's 5 foot on each side, because I don't want it to tip over. So I'll figure that out now, and then I'll get those cut, and then we can get those glued up, or sorry, screwed in to the uprights, and then we can put the bracing on, and then we can probably stand up the uprights. It should go together pretty easy. It's a pretty easy build. So I'll get those cut, picked up, put up here on the sawhorses, and get them cut down now, and then we can get them screwed on. Okay, I decided I'm going to go 10 foot. So the bases will be basically 5 foot. It'll be a little bit less because by the time you factor in the 2x6, but basically 5 foot on each side of the upright. And then I should have a little bit extra lumber. So we'll get this cut. Got these trimmed. Now I got to figure out how on earth I am going to mount them. All right, well, I think I got this figured out on how to mount this through trial and error and a board dropping on the tripod and breaking a piece of that, but I think I got it figured out. Put the long board on the ladder, and then you just raise this enough to get the two side pieces attached. So we're gonna do that now. All right, so I marked it out at 3 inches because the two 2x6s are 1.5 inches tall. So all right, so first board's on. Now I'll measure the second board, get that on. And I might try to stand it up. I guess we'll see. Okay, so that's done. This thing is going to be massive. So I'll get this one out of the way and then start working on the other one. Okay, this thing is incredibly difficult to film due to the size, but I got it stood up. I'll put this bracing on there now. Okay, so I got this set up, and 16 feet is way too big. I was thinking that it needed to be tall for processing a cow, like I said earlier, but the cow you're not going to scald, you're just going to skin it. So you don't need that extra height that you would need for the pig. So I'm going to cut it down to 14 feet instead of 16, because that'll be more than enough. So I'm going to lop off 2 feet on the ends, and then I got the boards cut for the cross braces at the top, and then I'll put a cross brace at the bottom, and then some diagonal supports, and then we should be good to go, and we can attempt to stand it up. I'm not sure if Tina is going to be able to help me enough to stand it up, because this thing is heavy, but I guess we'll give it a shot. All right, it's a little windy out here, so if it picks up on camera, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully the microphone kind of cuts it out. But I got a block cut to go here, and then I got a brace cut to go here, and that should just hold the sides to the top. So I'll get those screwed in, and then I think I'm just going to do one side for now, because I think 2 braces should be enough. And then once I get that, I'll drill some holes through here and put some bolts in there, and then we might be able to stand it up. So I'll get these installed and then move on from there. All right, she is done. Now I gotta figure out how to stand it up. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. No chance I could do it by myself. And I don't think there's a chance that Tina's gonna be able to help me. It's way too heavy. I think I will add an 8-foot board across the bottom to just give it some rigidity when you stand it up, and then once it's up in the air, I can take that board off quick to put the burner and the scald tank under there. I'll just put it in with a couple screws. It'll just give it that extra rigidity standing it up, and then we'll take it on and off, and then to lower it back down, we can just put it back on. So I got an extra board, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I'll get that cut and get it attached, but I don't know, maybe I can use a lawnmower to pull it up. I can help it, and then Tina can use a lawnmower. We'll have to see, but I don't think we're gonna be able to do it today. Okay, we're going to attempt to raise the gantry. So I'll show you what we got going here. We got the winch attached to the Jeep, which is then attached to the top. So we're just gonna pull it up, and then I got the mower there with the rope just so that it doesn't slam down hard. I'll kind of ease it down once we get past the tipping point. So hopefully it works. Should work no problem, but I guess we'll find out. So here goes nothing.
Your mower is gonna...
I know, but you kind of went in too far.
You want me back out?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
A little bit more?
shoot.
It's almost as if your mower is too far.
Yeah. Hold that. Success. This thing is absurd.
It's a lot taller than I thought it was going to be.
Well, she's up. Now we can hoist a pig or a cow or a Jeep or anything that's under 14 feet tall. That went pretty well. Now throw the ladder up and take those off. This winch we got, we just picked this thing up on Amazon. So it plugs into regular house power. So we're gonna mount that on top. We'll mount that. See if I can do this properly. Mount it up there, and then we'll run the cord over and down, and then we can use that to hoist the pig up and down into the barrel. One thing I am going to do to make it easier, I'm going to put 45 degree angles on the base plates, so then we should be able to pull it. I'll try to mount some D-rings or something to it, and then we can move this thing out of the way. But it's not in a bad spot here. It's kind of just got to get leveled out. So I think with two people we can kind of shimmy it around and move it around. But now I guess I'll put the winch up. What do you think?
It's a lot taller than I thought it was going to be.
We could put a swing on it. Well, we're a couple days away from processing the pig. I got the winch mounted up top. I'm gonna kind of move these cords a little bit, but the winch does have a remote control too, not a wired one or wireless one. So I might try that, but we'll try picking up the mower, make sure this thing works. I do have a hand hoist that I'll throw up there too, just in case we run into issues with this winch. But my hope is that this thing works. Looks like it'll work no problem. So got the remote control, got a sweet antenna. It's like a cell phone out of the 90s, but a little bit smaller. So it looks like that works too. So we should be ready to go for the processing. I did test the barrel setup yesterday. So underneath here, I just got the base of my turkey fryer, and then I just got the barrel. I don't really trust that to hold up to the weight of the water, so I just got some the pavers that were all over this place, kind of stood up there. And then we got the water. The water's up to here, and it took 2 hours to get it to 145, which is where we want it to scald the pig. So really, it's not that bad. I'll just get out here. We're planning to process about 7:30 or so. So I'll just get out here early in the morning, fire this thing up. It is going to be really cold next week when we process. The lows are supposed to be in the low 20s. Luckily, the water comes out kind of warm, so I'll just fill this up in the morning and then start the fire, and hopefully it takes around 2 hours. Probably get out here at 5, give myself a half hour or so, because we can always cool it down. So that wraps up the gantry build. It's, like I said, it's 14 feet tall, 8 feet wide, and then the legs are 10 foot. And it's gonna work pretty well, I think. I did put the 45 miter on the legs, so I'll probably try to tow this thing around. I'll end up putting a crossboard to tow it so that we don't have any issues. I'll put one on the front and the back so that it doesn't twist when it's being towed. But so that'll do it for this video. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.